Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel. Home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. My name is Ben. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. We come to you live every single day, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Wednesday, May 4th. How are we feeling today, guys? How are we feeling about the markets? How are we feeling about our position in crypto? Because there is a lot of evidence right now that we are not just in a bear market for crypto, but we are in full-blown recession at this point. That it has started. We'll have to see what comes out of the FOMC meeting today. Usually what we see is we actually see right after the meeting minutes are released, which I don't know if that's today or tomorrow, we see prices go up a little bit usually because some of this stuff's already baked in. But let's find out what's going to happen in the markets. We're bringing on Forrest today from formerly of TokenMetrics. Now it has his own channel. Be talking about some of the stuff that he's got on some charts. Somebody said I'm looking shiny today. Am I looking shiny? Have some sheen to me today. Wasn't feeling good yesterday. I don't know if you guys could tell. Yeah, ended the show early. I was not feeling so hot yesterday, but back 100% today. Nice. I don't have time to get sick. Don't have time for it. So, Ben, admit it. You got lucky. Leave it at that. I did. I am lucky to have a beautiful wife, a great business partner, and a beautiful community. I am lucky. I could have got stuck with, I don't know, somebody else's. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. 1.45 million on YouTube, of course. The perpetual number we will be stuck at forever. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. I want to bring this tweet up here in just a few minutes. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. 836.7 thousand followers. I did have my response yesterday to Rick Ross. People, this is a joke picture, guys. I don't know if you guys understand that this is a joke, but 2,600 likes. A lot of people flaming me in the comments. You guys think here's my question to you. Do you think when I posted this picture that I think that I look cool in that picture? Like, do you think that? Like, is that honestly what you believe? You believe that I thought, oh, you know what, Ricky Rose? Let me find the coolest picture of myself. What you don't see is I'm wearing freaking red Adidas's under this that you can't actually see because I cut them out because it looked even 10x dorkier. So, guys, this was a joke, but
that was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, and I think some people got it, some people didn't. A lot of people said, it's legendary. You're embracing it. It's funny, and then obviously,
if you can't have fun with yourself at this level, then what good are you? What good are you? Don't be so serious.
If you're gonna be a meme, might as well be sitting on a Lambo, not doing the walrus. The walrus teeth.
Don't do the walrus teeth. That's for sure. So, anyways, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. I want to talk about this tweet real quick here because this is Altcoin Daily did a video about this. Yes, I do own a grill, and that also was bought ironically. Everything I do is ironic, guys. It's stuff when I was 19 I thought was cool. Now I don't think it's cool, but I want to do it now to relive my teenage dreams.
Did you have the grill in that picture?
I don't think. Maybe. I don't think so.
I feel like all the times that the grill actually makes sense, it's not around.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
It's funny.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We're talking about recession here. Guys, this is evidence of a much larger drop here coming. Some people would say, actually, this is evidence. Maybe we've already seen the bottom, but I don't think that's true. More than 45% of stocks are down 50%. More than 22% of stocks are down 75%. More than 5% of stocks are down 90%. This sounds like crypto.
Yeah.
The only comparisons here are October of 2000 right here and November of 2008, which is right here. But here's the thing. If that were the case, how much lower, sorry, let me pull that back up. How much lower are things going to drop, Because if you look at our tiny little baby drop up here, and then you look at this, and then you look at that, what in the world? And this was quick, actually, guys. Mm-hmm. This is a very quick drop. And you could kind of argue that this was a double bottom, and you could argue that maybe, I mean, in a small way, this is the same thing. We got the large initial drop and then another kind of double bottom there, and you can kind of see up here that it's the same thing, but it's too fast, right? Mm-hmm. It feels like this is going to be much larger. What are your feelings about the stock market?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just looking. I couldn't find it, but I was looking for. Oh, hey, he's back there. I was looking for a tweet that I saw yesterday, where they were talking about the correlation between the basis points or the rate hikes and the Bitcoin bull markets. Where last year when they were moving rates up, things were bearish, and then they held it at zero for a couple of years. We got a bull market. Now we're back in the same cycle where they're going to be putting the rates up for a couple of years. We go bearish, and it obviously affects all markets, not just Bitcoin. Basically, dollars are getting more expensive, meaning all assets are going to drop in prices. And then as soon as they get back to zero, everything pumps out of control again. The question is just how many times can they do that cycle? So if you and it was interesting correlation. I'd never seen it done that directly before. I wish I could find the tweet, but when you're looking through it through that lens, it tends to make sense that this is going to be down. But the question just becomes how far down. If there's all sorts of other pressure, like the pandemic, supply chain, global unrest, whatever you want to call it, all these different things going on, will the markets break this time they go down? I think that's what people are worried about.
And when do we see I lost my train of thought. The dog is distracting. Dog is distracting. You're right. The dog is distracting. So I was going to say, you were talking about the tweets. You were talking about the moon up and down. When do we see inflation actually start to fall instead of rise? How long do you think that is going to happen? How long before
for the dollar specifically? I think it is.
No, I mean with the percentage. I mean with the year over year we keep looking at, it's every time it's going up. When does this start falling, and when do we start feeling the effects of what has been put into place? I mean, going back to January.
Yeah.
So if we go back to January and that's when the first rate increases occurred, then you could kind of figure like how long did it take those to really start factoring in? Well, we already know the mortgage rates are way up right now, so that has certainly aided that. So, maybe summer, we start seeing it fall. Is that what we have to look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, you tend to see it, like you said, with the mortgage rate, and the housing market tends to be what feels it first the quickest. So it could be, but it tends to be a long tail. So I would even put it maybe end of this year, but it could even be early next year, where they overbuild all these houses and then people aren't buying at the same rate anymore because it costs way more to buy the same house, and then you get stuck holding all that supply.
Yeah. Well, I know it's all going to factor in together. It's going to be interesting to watch and see what happens here in the coming months. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well, bitboy_crypto. We're probably ticked up, I would think. Nope, 456K there. Don't forget to check out hitmerch.com for some of the coolest crypto gear this side of the Mason-Dixon. All right, here we go. Check out the markets. We got Bitcoin, or the market cap coming in at $1.739 trillion. Volume up pretty significantly from yesterday, 84 billion. Bitcoin dominance about the same, 42.4%, and ETH dominance down just one tick from 19.7% to 19.6%. And for 24 Paraguays, you can send an ETH transaction. Bitcoin coming in, $38,830. Ethereum at $2,800. I mean, the longer this sits at 38, the longer it sits here, the more I believe that it's not going to go below 30K. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that maybe we already saw, maybe 29 was the bottom. Maybe 33 was the next bottom. Maybe we don't go back below 33 again. I think it's possible. The longer it holds at these levels, the better prepared I think it is for the eventual drop that is coming. It's just hard. I think it's very significant that it keeps hovering around $39,000. We do know that's the number one price Bitcoin has traded hands between in the history of Bitcoin. So definitely a number to watch. Curve Dow up 10%, Zilliqa up 9%, Waves up 6%, but still down massively for the week. Let's look at that waves chart. I want to see waves because I think it pretty much, yeah. Look at that. Oh man, look at that chart. I hope you sold your waves bags in profit, like my friend Matt did. So, okay, let's see anything significant. XDC Tron still having a good week. Why is Tron doing so well? Because all the stablecoin news, I guess. That's all I can figure with that. Let's see, stepping down, IOTA down. Are we? Maybe a good time to get into stepping. I don't know. I tell you, man, people are fascinated with the stepping.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a fun implementation. I think it gets people's brain going about what is possible in the future. I think a lot of these, you're going to see a lot of these type of projects do different things that are fun and interesting and may not make it at scale, or they might scale for a little while and then go awry. But I think it is cool and fun to look at stuff like this as what is possible with blockchain and kind of the future of Web3 for sure will look like what Steppen's doing.
Look at Box Mining's videos. Box Mining getting a lot of views on his videos again. Because I saw earlier, he did this video and I saw it had 45,000 views. I was like, that's got to be way more than he's had in a long time. But no, he's actually about averaging that much. That's pretty interesting. Box Mining really disappeared for a long time. He's kind of, create a similar model to what we have here, where you have people that step in and does, no pun intended there, people that step in and do, do some of his content for him. He's a busy guy. This is one of the guys that, one of the 3 biggest YouTubers in 2017, definitely, and has played a very pivotal role in the space. But good to see him getting a lot of views. But it really caught my eye. He did this, video on Steppen 12 hours ago. It already had 45,000 views. People are interested in this Steppen. And I don't know if it's one of those things where it's authentic or not. I'm just saying, is there this much interest in this thing to where it gets 45,000 views in such a short period of time? We know the people from TokenMetrics are super bullish on it. We know Justin and Brian have been using it. I think Forrest has been using it. Maybe we asked Forrest about it as well.
No, I think, like I said, a lot, there does tend to be genuine interest in it, people enjoying it. So I'm sure it's a mix. I'm sure some of it's marketing and paid and that sort of stuff. But
all right, guys, let's go ahead and bring Forrest on here. All right, Forrest, what's up?
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will put his link in the chat and pin that if you could, so you guys can follow Forrest. And what is the name of your channel? It's Crypto Stackers?
Yep, Crypto Stackers.
There you go. Forrest, formerly with TokenMetrics. He's been on the channel, before. So let's go ahead. What do you see going on right now in the markets?
Yeah, so I'm happy to share my screen here, if that works, and I show you some charts that I've been looking at. I want to show you actually 2 charts because I wasn't going to break out this chart, but since you guys started talking legacy and NASDAQ and stuff, we're following this super, super interesting fractal, and I normally am not a big fan of fractal analysis at all. But when it's this scary accurate, I like to bring it up. Wow. So every midterm election year, this is the S&P 500 that we're looking at. We have this period of uncertainty, and let me zoom in a little bit. So last midterm election, we have a period of uncertainty, and then we pump into the midterms. Before that, a period of uncertainty, a little crash, and then a pump into the midterms. And then the one in 2010 was so interesting because we were coming out of this big recession, right? And we pumped, had this period of uncertainty, and then we rallied directly into midterms. If you take this fractal and copy it, and that's what I've done and matched up to where we currently are, it is following to a T coming out of a very short, I wouldn't call it a recession, but the pandemic crash down here. Yeah. We've rallied out of the crash, right? And we are following the same fractal to a T where we get this period of uncertainty. And you even see this little reverse head and shoulders developing. And right now we're towards the bottom of this pattern. So if there was, I'm not saying we're going to rally into midterms, but if there was a time to rally, depending on what we get out of the Fed, this could be that rally into the midterms and then we crash. So I just thought that was interesting to bring up. Not saying that we're going to continue to follow this, but interesting nonetheless. I want to talk, I came here to talk about Ethereum, because I think Ethereum is, people are just completely sleeping on it, and they're super worried about legacy. And I think Ethereum is probably not only the safest bet in the market right now, but a huge opportunity. So Ben, I actually have a question for you.
Sure.
You were around in 2016.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you were around in 2020 with the Bitcoin halvings. Were it either of the Bitcoin halvings, which I've got marked on this Bitcoin chart, ever baked into the market? Were they priced in before the halvings?
Here's what's so funny. Here's what's so funny. You can go and you can look at every single halving that we've ever had, and you can find the exact same articles written. This time it's probably baked into the price, but then it never is.
Yep. And then it goes parabolic.
Yep.
Right. And I'm sure you are familiar with what's happening with the Ethereum merge. It's essentially going to make Ethereum's supply go deflationary. People are talking about it like it's going to be, they believe the effect is going to be about 3 Bitcoin halvings, but for the Ethereum supply. Now, this last halving was an incredible opportunity. Why? Because we had a pandemic crash right before the halving. So you could have picked up Bitcoin like at the best possible price right before the halving, right? It was especially not baked in. And then what happened? We went into a parabolic bull market. It was fantastic. Well, we've got the makings for a crash because everybody's worried about the legacy market, just like everybody was worried about the effects of a pandemic back in March of 2020. We've got the makings for a massive crash for Ethereum. So I've got the Ethereum chart here. I don't believe it's baked in at all. I don't think it's priced in at all. I think everybody's worried. And if we get a crash, I believe we're going to have an incredible opportunity to pick up Ethereum at very cheap levels. So I actually want to give those support levels that I'm currently watching based off of something I use called margin pressure levels. I'm not going to get into how they're actually calculated, but what you need to understand is that they isolate for leveraged trading behavior in the market. Most of the volume in the crypto market is on leverage. So leveraged traders control the market, right? So we have this 1x short level off of this last stab high to $3,600. 1790 is the price of Ethereum at which you can no longer short Ethereum on any leverage at all and keep your liquidation point above this local high resistance point. That is incredibly important. It also matches up with our structural support over here around $1,700. So if Ethereum crashes to $1,700, I've already got my bids in. Now, we do have plenty of support. Like if we don't see a huge market crash and we just kind of see some chop out of Ethereum, I'd love to pick some more up at $2,400, even $2,600, $2,700. I'm stacking as much Ethereum as possible before this merge event, but $1,700, $1,800 is a really, really good support level. And the last indicator I want to show you guys is the easy bands, which this is built off of a similar idea, similar concept as Bollinger Bands, but it's actually got those margin pressure levels baked into the calculations here. And you can see historically, the best time to buy Ethereum is down in this green accumulation band. This captures most of the capitulations and acts as a support band. Recently, I just stocked up on Ethereum around $2,400, $2,300 as we entered this zone. If we get another crash, those bands right now are between $1,600 and $2,000. So if we see Ethereum crash to $1,600, between $1,600 and $2,000, I am going to be loading up as much as possible before this merge because I do not believe it's priced in.
Now, what do you feel like the ETH merge, the effect the ETH merge is going to have on the entire crypto market? Or will it expand just out of what we see with Ethereum in the fall?
Well, honestly, this is an unpopular opinion, especially because Bitcoin people get so upset, and I don't dislike Bitcoin at all. Now, obviously, we need to see, for Ethereum to do well, we need to see the legacy market do well as well, I believe. At least, so if we see the legacy market go into a 2-3 year recession, which honestly, I don't know if that's what's going to happen. And the reason I think the legacy market, if we crash, will recover very, very quickly is because inflation's so high. If the legacy market, if the S&P 500 crashes 60%, what's everyone going to do with their cash? They're going to like, oh, I don't want cash anymore because I can get the S&P 500 at 50 to 60% off. I'm going to just throw my cash right back into the market. So once these markets actually crash, I believe that because inflation's so high, people are going to want to get out of their dollars and right back into the market. And that's going to create some sort of like a V-shaped recovery. So obviously we want the legacy market to do well for Ethereum to do well, but Ethereum is I know everyone's like, Bitcoin's a store of value. It's the ultimate store of value. Ethereum's kind of a really good store of value too. Not only can you buy NFTs with, not only does it have additional utility, like you can buy NFTs, you can buy altcoins, right? Bitcoin is predominantly used as a store of value and to buy altcoins. It's a unit of account for altcoins. But Ethereum also is a store of value. It has deflationary, or will after the merge have deflationary tokenomics. So I believe that this merge could be what drives Ethereum to actually flip Bitcoin. I'm going to get slammed by the Bitcoin maxis, but that's just
they're not that tough anyways. They can't pick you up, I promise. Be more worried about the ETH maxis. We're a lot tougher than they are. Listen, here's what I think, Forrest. This is what I think is so fascinating. If we were to look and say, we've talked about this super cycle for Bitcoin. We've talked about it for years, and we haven't seen it yet. We're always getting these scenarios laid out to where, no, this is really when adoption happens and Bitcoin's going parabolic. That the perfect setup for there really to be a super cycle. Number one, we did not get max euphoria in this last cycle. It was definitely held back from where we thought Bitcoin could get to. Okay. Fast forward to where we're at coming up in the fall to Q1 of next year. Within a 3 to 4 month period, okay, we could have the ETH merge, we could have the SEC case versus XRP ending, and we could also have a Bitcoin ETF, a spot ETF. If you have all those three things happen within, let's say, 6 months of each other, Ethereum starts leading the market. Ethereum could actually pull Bitcoin up with it, with all this excitement around it, especially the SEC case, to where maybe Bitcoin is at a much higher price comparatively to all-time highs than it's ever been before once we approach the halving. And then that could set us up possibly for a Bitcoin super cycle. So the argument is Ethereum finally could take the reins and it could pull the market up and put Bitcoin in a better place to get to a higher price itself.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Basically, Ethereum's picking up the slack during the bear market, right? Or the period of time where you would expect a bear market based off of 4-year market cycle theory. And then Bitcoin comes in with the 1-2 punch at the end with the halving. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Sounds good. And what's cool about it is, if we're thinking about a Bitcoin super cycle, it's got to be something unique that occurs. This ETH merge isn't every 4 years. This is a one-time only event. Right. So, if there were ever a time that this could be the moment for Ethereum, I agree with you 100%. I saw people in the chat saying that, Benjamin Cowan saying, Ethereum's getting ready to bleed next to Bitcoin. I can't see that happening. I can't see Ethereum with Bitcoin also not showing strength. I can't see Ethereum bleeding next to Bitcoin right now. What are your thoughts on that?
I hope it does. I hope Ethereum gets cheaper. I want to buy more before
either one of these guys.
I'm rooting for an Ethereum crash right now. Nothing would make me happier than seeing Ethereum at $1,400 because I'm going to go to Amex and take out credit cards, not financial advice, and start buying Ethereum. Like this doesn't happen. It's three halvings baked into one.
It's awesome. I'm excited about it. We've been more bullish on Ethereum than Bitcoin for a long time on this channel. I think we're going to go down in the history books as being on the right side of it. So, well, cool, Forrest. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll have to have you back on, maybe next month. And anything you want to leave us with?
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me on. If you want to check out my channel, it's Crypto Stackers. If you want to check out the website that I was doing technical analysis in, it's a technical analysis dashboard that I built to make technical analysis more simple, very straightforward. It's called cryptostackers.pro. And that's all.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Forrest. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Take care, Forrest.
Bye.
Yeah, I like Forrest. He's a good guy. Smart, good analysis.
Okay. If I'm going to order an Ethereum 2.0 jersey, will it get delivered on time or will it get delayed? That's pretty funny. That's a good joke there. That's a good joke. Somebody over in the chat said Benjamin Cowan is almost always right. Well, I don't think that's true. I think he's about right, about as much as everybody else is, if you actually look. He's had some stuff that's dead on. He's had some stuff that's been way off. So,
and I think he would admit that just as much as anybody else. We were talking about.
I'm not saying he's not good at what he does. I'm just saying when you're looking at charts and you're looking at data science and you're looking at making predictions and decisions on what's going to happen in the future, you're not going to get it right every time.
That's what I was going to say. When it comes to predicting Bitcoin, nobody gets it right all the time.
Yeah, it's like Raoul Pal when he was on my show. And I said, yeah, you know, I mean, like, we definitely thought Bitcoin was going to get to $100,000. Like, we had the time correct for the peak of the market. We just didn't have the number right. And it threw us off. It didn't get to 100K. And he said, yeah, you and everybody else. Yeah. Like, everybody thought Bitcoin was going to $100,000 minimum. That was the minimum. If you remember, people were saying, oh, no, it's going to 150, it's going to 300, it's going to 500, 100K minimum, and didn't even get close. So, man, I really wish I could just get a do-over.
I'm sure that's what a lot of people say.
I wish I could get a do-over and go back then. And if I had not had the chirping in my ear of the $100,000, would we have made the right decision at that time? Been hard with all the people talking about 100K. But tough. I think we would have been much closer to taking profits, I think. What do you think?
It's tough, you know. I think realistically, when I reflect on it and look back, I think we did about as well as you could with all the information you can. I mean, we were taking, if you look at when just we moved a lot of things around, and there's a lot of factors into why we do what we did when we did.
Yeah.
But realistically, it was most of the major moves were closer to the top than when we are right now. When it comes to like things like buying this building, you know, we made some big things in the first run up in May before the big crash, you know, and then it settled back down, built back up again. We took a pretty fair amount of profits then. Now it's not like we moved 100% of our stack over. Like obviously there was a lot more opportunity had we literally sold the top with everything.
Nice.
But you know, I think it was a good lesson in, even when you have all the research, you have all the experience, you are in it full time, you're completely focused on it, you know, there's still a lot of factors to consider, and nobody really nails the top 100, or it's extremely hard to nail both the top and bottom 100%. But if you get it with 80% of the top with the majority of your trade, I think we did pretty good.
Everybody here saying Richard Hart called the top. Richard Hart did not call the top.
No.
That is a lie. That is him twisting words. Here's what he said. He came on the show when Bitcoin was at $64,000, somewhere between 60 and 64. He said 64 was the top. We're not ever going to see it again. That was the top of the market. He was wrong. We did go up to $69,000 a few months later. It did happen. And then you know what he said? He said, well, I called the top because there was only one day that Bitcoin was above that number later on. I'm sorry, Richard, you were wrong on that. Like, I mean, that's literally wrong. He is a master of words, of making him sound correct. I'm not trying to dog Richard Hart. He definitely called it closer than a lot of people, for sure. And he was definitely very close to the number, but he did not call the top the day of the top. If that's true, then I mean, he probably called it every day, you know, in between 64 and 69. He called 64. He didn't call 69. So I know he'll like to throw that around and say, no, even though it did hit another all-time high, I was correct. That's crazy. That's asinine. That's why he's a good debater, because he can actually make you believe that he's right on something he was 100% wrong on. Think about that. You hear that noise? That's siren. Yeah, he said the top was 64K in July. Okay, that's what he said. 64K was not the top, guys. Okay, did you see this yesterday? Dave Chappelle? Video appears to show Dave Chappelle attacked on stage. Oh, you didn't hear about this news?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he got attacked last night. A guy ran up, tackled him, and he had a, let's see if it'll show it here. Loading ad. And the guy had a knife that was shaped like a gun.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but he didn't get hurt. And then, of course, they were joking about it. Chris Rock was there. Here it is if you pull it up. That's after it happened, I guess. There's very little footage of it actually occurring. You can barely see it. There's one video that shows it kind of from a side angle. But, you know, they were making a lot of Chris Rock jokes after that. So, pretty crazy. Just some pop culture news there for you. I guess somebody was mad at Dave Chappelle. There you go. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle getting attacked in the same, month. Bitcoin volatility dipping below 18-month lows, yada, yada, yada. Okay, here we go. MicroStrategy to receive margin call if Bitcoin reaches $21,000, but it will never happen for them. This is interesting.
Yeah, this was everything people were talking about yesterday. It was all sorts of news around this. Very hard to find what the actual number was.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
According to the transcript of the most recent earnings call, with MicroStrategy, the company reported a massive loss on its Bitcoin position and added that it will face the first margin call after the first crypto. I hate when they call it the first crypto. After Bitcoin plunges to 21,000, but it's not what you think. Fong Li, the company's new CFO, took a question from Shirish Jajodia about the company's margin before receiving a margin call in their Bitcoin positions. According to Li, MicroStrategy does not need to put more funds into their positions. To receive the first margin call in their position, Bitcoin would need to cut in half from their average entry, which sits at 42,000. Essentially, Bitcoin's move to 21,000 will trigger a margin call, which would require the company to additionally fund their existing position. Now, here's why they won't receive a margin call.
Well, and that last line was key too. Like, they can just buy more and then lower.
They're not going to lose all their money.
No, they're not going to get margin called. But good.
Dude had his arm broken and shoulder dislocated. The attacker. I saw him on a stretcher. Despite having a chance of receiving a call of $21,000, MicroStrategy CFO is not worried about it, thanks to the massive liquidity at the company's disposal prior to Bitcoin dropping to $21,000. MicroStrategy will most likely provide funding for the position, averaging down their position and moving the margin call limit significantly lower. Some commentators, slightly better than rare taters, speculated that the company may face a liquidation only when Bitcoin reaches critical values like $3,000. But even with the massive turmoil on the crypto market that could cause Bitcoin to plunge 2018 levels, MicroStrategy would most likely have enough liquidity to contribute. Because of the current situation on the crypto market, MicroStrategy is losing $1.1 billion on their Bitcoin investment. Wow. How much money do they have in Bitcoin right now? Is it like $2 billion?
I think their average price, it say it in there, was around
42,000. And how much they own? Like 200,000?
I wanted to say it was something like, last number I remember was 186K.
Yeah, I think they bought more since then a little bit. I think they're like 190 something, I think now. And these are reasons why, we don't think that Bitcoin can go to previous lows that it's gone to before. You have companies like MicroStrategy out there with enough liquidity to buy the market up. I just can't imagine, Crypto Savvy. Somebody mentioned him in the chat here. This guy is so adamant. Gareth Soloway mentioned, this on the show as well. Crypto Savvy is originally where it came from, I believe, about how we're not actually in a 4-year market cycle for Bitcoin. It's actually one 10-year cycle. And now we're on the second 10-year cycle. And it's following exactly along with the Amazon chart from 2000. And if you look at it, let me see if I can pull it up here. Don't pull up the screen yet. I need to pull up my messages and find where he sends me this like every day. Every day he sends it to me. Okay. Here we go. All right. You guys can see here. You pull this up. There it is. Okay. You guys can see here. This is the Amazon 1-week chart from 2000, basically. This is the peak, about 2000. And this is the Bitcoin chart. And you got to admit, they look pretty dang similar. But there's no way that this is going to end up he has Bitcoin going down to $3,700. There is no way Bitcoin can go that low. People would buy it up too much. There are too many big players in crypto now that will buy this up. In 2018, it could go down to $3,000. First of all, it only peaked out at $20,000 and it only spent a day there, right? Most of the time it was between 10, 12, 14,000, okay? Even when it was falling. To think that it could go all the way down to 3,000, it seemed unbelievable, but it did happen. To think it's going to go to 3,000 from 38,000 right now, that is impossible to imagine. When you have so many big players out there like MicroStrategy, like these institutions like Goldman, like JP Morgan, they're willing to buy this up at these prices. Remember, the way that these institutions want to run crypto is from the inside. The only way they can run crypto from the inside is to have a lot of crypto. So yes, we will probably see prices fall below, especially MicroStrategy's average price of $42,000. We'll see it fall, probably down to 33, 35, maybe 30, maybe 27, but it just can't go lower than that. I don't think there's any way possible that we can see that. So, all right, moving on here. Joe Rogan says government is freaking out about Bitcoin's viability as a currency. And I will tell you what, Joe Rogan's ability to regrow his hair, I mean, I guess there's a reason it's called Rogan, right?
You took the words out of my mouth. Is that a current picture? Is that
why do they use this picture? That's like where's hold on, guys. Let me show you guys a picture of Michael Saylor. Where's Michael Saylor's picture? Here it is. Here it is. Here's Michael. Here he is. They use this picture. Guys, he looks nothing like this.
He looks like an actor there.
Yeah, like how finbold, how lazy do you have to be to this is the picture you use of Joe Rogan? I can't.
I was going to say, you just Google Joe Rogan, and I don't think there's a picture where he's not bald and images.
Except for that one.
100 pictures. Like, that's crazy.
As Bitcoin begins to slowly recover after a difficult week for the majority of the crypto market, more public personalities are coming out as strong supporters. Once again, something you did not see in the last bear market. You actually saw the opposite, including one controversial American podcaster. Indeed, Joe Rogan, the host of JRE and the Ultimate Fighter Championship commentator, or UFC commentator, expressed his views that Bitcoin was a viable form of currency on his podcast show mixed with mixed martial artist Khalil Roundtree. May 3rd, he said, I think of Bitcoin in the same way I think about the early internet. Almost like we've said that a zillion times here. I think they didn't see it coming, and now it's a viable form of currency, and you can actually buy things with it. I think the government is freaking out. Rogan also voiced concerns that the government was trying to curb and control crypto in the same way that he claimed it tried to censor the internet during the Obama administration. According to him, this attempt had fallen apart because of the public uproar. He said, there's going to come a time where some government, whether it's the U.S. or another government, they're going to try to implement. I know they already do it in China, but they're going to try to implement a digital currency, a centralized digital currency that they can control. That could be a real thing where they could literally limit what you spend your money on 1,000%. Interesting. Once again, we've told you this for years. This is coming. In the next 5 years, we are going to have a digital dollar here in America. Next 5 years. 5 years. Probably closer to 5 than 1, but in the next 5 years. Indeed, China's central bank is in the middle of testing its central bank digital currency. It's yuan, digital yuan. Country's residents were set to receive 15 million yuan in digital RMB or ECNY, digital yuan. Podcast host is the latest in a slew of celebrities, politicians, organizations, corporations, and others flocking to crypto as it becomes more accepted around the world, including in the Central African Republic, where it just became legal tender. It feels good to be on the cutting edge of something, doesn't it? It feels good to have bought into crypto years and years and years ago before anybody was really buying it.
Right. And you're reading that article now going,
yeah. It's weird. It's almost like we told you this like 4 years ago.
That's what I've been preaching at Thanksgiving for years and years and years.
Absolutely. We need a BitBoy and Rogan podcast. I would love to go on the Joe Rogan podcast. I would love that. TJ told me I wasn't interesting enough to go on. He told me that a couple years ago. So I've made it my life's goal to prove TJ wrong.
Hey,
so
now,
Joe, can you
got Rick Ross calling you out, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Rick Ross, BitBoy Crypto.
Yeah,
BitBoy Crypto. Go. Meanwhile, in the United States, some jurisdictions are seeing ways to jump on the crypto bandwagon. One of them is the state of Tennessee, which started looking into vendors that would help it hold crypto. That's awesome. Elsewhere, the U.S. city of Fort Worth, Texas, has recognized the potential that mining could have for its community, voting to accept a donation of 3 Bitcoin mining machines from the industry advocacy group, Texas Blockchain Council. Now, you guys may remember that I went out to the Texas State House last June or July. Maybe it was May. Maybe it was the end of May. I can't remember exactly when it was. And I talked with their technology caucus, basically. All of the people that are involved in technology bills there. And I talked to them about Bitcoin and crypto. And of course, Dogecoin was a big topic at that point. So I talked to them about that, why it doesn't really do anything. You know, I talked to them about, we were talking about Bitcoin mining, environmental stuff. And I told them that I thought it would be very beneficial for them to hold Bitcoin on their treasury. And it was, 2 weeks later, Greg Abbott, the governor, announced that they were going all in on blockchain. This week, TJ and I actually had the opportunity to go out to California. And we were supposed to meet with Senator Hertzberg, but he actually had an emergency. He had to go sign some heat crisis bill or something the same time as our meeting. And so we ended up meeting with his chief of staff and another person from his staff as well. And we were talking regulation. There is a blockchain bill that's coming in the state of California. We want everybody to support, and this will be to basically move a lot of their records over to blockchain. And it's funny listening to some of the pushback. Some of the pushback came from, some of their, I guess, the people within the California state government that don't understand blockchain. They made a comment like, oh, well, the thing about blockchain is like all of a sudden these records are here and then they're gone. It's like, no, that's exactly.
That's the opposite.
Exactly the opposite. Yeah. There was actually, I thought this was so fascinating. So Ryan, one of the guys that helped us set this up, he works with a lot of criminal justice reform and a lot of people from the prison system. And he actually was in contact with a guy who had been in prison for, I think, 25 years. He came out of prison and his entire town was destroyed by a tornado. All the records, everything completely destroyed and wiped out by a major tornado that came through their town. There's 0 records of this guy's existence. Think about that. 0 records. His town is gone.
No birth certificate, no social security card, nothing.
That's what blockchain fixes. It adds permanence to things. So we had a very fascinating, I will tell you what, you would have been surprised listening to how much that, the chief of staff there knew about blockchain.
You could tell he had done his homework.
Done his homework, done his research, sees the advantages of adding it. And so we're going to be working with them in the future and hopefully having the senator on for an interview here pretty soon. But we are super thrilled to be working with the state of California. And I'll tell you this: these are the reasons why, like this channel and what we do here. This is why we lead the space. You don't see other people out pushing these boundaries. We want to be in the public eye of crypto to push adoption, to make common sense builds and common sense laws that are actually changing things in America to prepare us for this onslaught of blockchain. Because we care about things bigger than, what price this coin is going to be at today or tomorrow. That's just fun. It's great for the channel. We love talking to you guys about, things that are maybe going up or when a bull market comes. But guys, we're in a much larger war. We want to be on that chessboard. We want to be making the moves that are going to put our country, our community in the best position to be able to win in blockchain. And that's what we went out and did last week. So if you do know anybody that works for any state governments and want us to come talk to your state government, we would love to do that. We like working with the state level, the Fed level, not that much. I would certainly go to Capitol Hill and speak about some of this stuff. Would not be scared to do it, but obviously, I would love for Elizabeth Warren to ask me a question. I would love for that. It would definitely become become something. Yeah. So, anyways, all right, moving on here. Did you have anything you wanted to say about our trip?
No, I mean, I thought you tied it together pretty well. That was great. I'd just say, let's go BitSquad, because I think it is cool to get out there and actually, try to have some impact and affect change. And I feel like, kind of like what you said, on the state level, it feels like it's a productive conversation that does have impact, where it's not. It was interesting to see, there's a lot of work when it comes to getting things done on the government, a lot of cycles and people and, agendas and different things. But it was fun to get involved with. I'd like to maybe do something here in Georgia. The California thing and the Texas thing, they were set up by people in the BitSquad.
Yeah. So it's actually the community that helps us to be able to get in front of these people to impact change. That's why this community is so great. This is not just a place where a lot of people don't understand this community. They really don't. Like, why do people watch this guy? Is it because he's funny? I hope maybe a little bit. Maybe I'm a little more entertaining than some of the dry people out there. But no, it's because we really care on this channel. We really want change in the future. This isn't about me, getting money for a Lambo and then dipping out on you guys. This is about the larger battle and war that we're fighting in crypto. And so if you want to be part of that, you want to enlist in that, make sure to contact your state government and see if you can get us in there, talk to them. So a lot of people were asking about what blockchain would they be using? That didn't come up, I don't believe.
We didn't really get into specifics. They're still working on definitions and getting people to say okay to exploring blockchain. And then once that gets approved, then it gets kicked to a technical committee, like what he was talking about in Texas, like their tech caucus that would review options and blockchains and that sort of stuff. So they're not even there yet. But, there are definitely, it's interesting when you start to look at, and there's obviously two sides of the coin when you talk about putting vital records, identity, that sort of thing on a blockchain. If they do it on something like Cardano, there's a lot of upsides when you can control the permissions and what data gets shared and all that.
I brought that up. I actually brought Cardano up in the conversation because, there's, especially when we were talking about digital IDs in the future, we know there are some talks with the European Union and Cardano about that. I think also you look at Algorand or HBAR. These could be some ones that could be, potentials as well. And Ethereum, don't sleep on Ethereum. It's by far number one. So. All right, Elon Musk unveils Bored Ape Yacht Club avatar mashup on Twitter, and ApeCoin surges over 15% right after. Elon Musk changed his Twitter Abby to NFT collage featuring Bored Ape. Centerpiece of the collage shows a rare golden Bored Ape Yacht Club piece. Musk allegedly acquired a similar ape back in February 2022. They hinted Musk bought the NFT through MoonPay. Following the move, ApeCoin pumped over 15%. Tesla's boss and Twitter's new owner changed his account's Abby. Now, I heard that somebody actually said
that they're showing his actual tweet because his tweet was like, seems pretty fungible to me.
Somebody said that he stole this from, like, somebody asked him to take it down because it was their art.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that comment. Yeah, and I think that was kind of the point he was making. It almost felt more like a troll tweet than anything. Like, hey, I can just go right click, save this image. And it's pretty fungible.
Yeah, but it's not it's not an octagon or a hexagon.
Right.
What is it? Hexagon or octagon? Hexagon, I think.
Hexagon.
Indeed, the main photo in the collage shows a rare ape with solid golden fur. I didn't know that was something you wanted. CEO of blockchain capital Chain claimed that Musk purchased a similar one back in 2022. Yada yada yada.
Back in 2022.
What?
Does it really say back in 2022?
MoonPay back in February of 2022.
Oh, whole 3 months.
All old. Yeah, it's 3 months ago now. Data from leading marketplace OpenSea shows Bored Ape in question is currently owned by MoonPay HQ, although no official confirmations are released by either party.
See,
he's such a troll, man.
It's funny.
I don't know what the point of all this is. I can't ever figure out what the point of anything he does is. So does he hate NFTs? Is that kind of like where we're at with this?
I don't know. That's the thing. I think he's kind of ambiguous on a lot of stuff. So it gives him a lot of flexibility to kind of hate on it, like it, play with it. I don't know if he's really formed a strong opinion on it, but I think he is entertained by the fact that his simple musings get everybody all excited, makes ApeCoin pump. I really honestly think it's I'd like to think, who knows, maybe it's more nefarious, but it feels like it's just personal entertainment.
It does.
Like he does, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that project pumped 12% just off this.
I'm telling you, I know someone who knows his brother very well. And they claim, let me tell you what they claim. They claim that Elon Musk 100% believes that this is a simulation and none of this is real. And only the people that win the simulation get to move on to whatever's next.
And he's winning the simulation.
And it's like a lot of stuff he does, it fits that. It's like he's doing things just for fun to troll people. Like basically the world is his playground.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Feels like it.
Telling you what they say. So I don't buy into the simulation theory. There's a lot of reasons why. I used to. There's a lot of reasons why I don't. Ape-themed airdrop phishing scams are on the rise. As the crypto community notices and calls out such scams, fraudsters tend to turn off replies to their tweets being exposed. Guys, if somebody turns off the comments to something, that's a good sign it's a scam. Cybersecurity experts identified and disclosed the rising popularity of airdropping phishing among crypto and NFT scammers. Airdrops serve as essential marketing tools for crypto projects, which involve sending free tokens or NFTs to promote awareness among investors. However, there's been an alarming rise in airdrop phishing attempts as scammers try to cash in on the hype around the Bored Ape Yacht Club collection. Let's see. They want you to come here and claim this stuff. Basically, you would click one of these. It's a phishing attempt. Long and short of it is, if there's an airdrop, remember, you don't have to click anything. You don't have to click anything to get an airdrop. To whitelist, you can whitelist however it says to whitelist, but usually you got to be careful there too. That's why I don't get into airdrops and stuff for the most part. The only ones that I will participate on are like when I think it was Sologenics was airdropped. Basically, it was a snapshot of how much XRP you had in your wallet. Most of the stuff is based off of snapshots, and you don't have to do anything.
And if you are, degenerating out and really going for this stuff, just be real careful. It's super easy to make a new wallet, so just make a new clean wallet. Don't whitelist with a wallet that has a Bored Ape in it or anything substantial.
Have one specifically for airdrops.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Rick Ross wants crypto investors to prove that they are making money. Are crypto bros actually rich? Oh, some of them are. Not all of them. Some of them are. All right. American hip-hop artist Ricky Rose ruffled the feathers of crypto investors by questioning whether or not they're actually rich in a recent Instagram story. He's like, I got plenty of money. I got money. I want to see your money. Rapper who boasts 5 #1 albums in the U.S. wants to see some real-life receipts. That's the thing about the boss, the metaverse, crypto. Y'all getting so much money. Where you at? Show us. Show us. However, Twitter users mentioned that tech billionaires do not necessarily flaunt their riches by squandering money on liabilities to expensive jewelry and expensive cribs. Who are you talking to? Who are y'all? Y'all talking to the wrong people. I love buying that stuff. Let's see. I met a guy last week with Rick Ross' entire net worth in a single MetaMask wallet, a crypto YouTuber quipped in a tweet. Well, yeah, I'm sure. The Twitterati also noted that one's wealth can easily be traced on the blockchain. Some crypto enthusiasts resorted to ad hominem attacks against the rapper, taking shots at his music.
No,
I've got a pretty good shot at his music, but I won't go there. I was sharing it with Aaron yesterday. I'll just say this. I love Ricky Rhodes. I think he's a great rapper, and he had a lot of good songs. He's got some questionable lyrics. He's got some questionable lyrics that have got him into a little bit of trouble during the Me Too movement. That's all I'll say. Y'all can go look that up on your own. I'm not going to bring it up specifically, but from a very popular song. It says crypto moguls are less likely to flaunt their wealth than rapper. What does this mean? Than rapper? Who typically promote materialistic attitudes with ostentatious clothing and jewelry. Instead, they choose to flex their multi-million non-fungible tokens. I say flex it all. That's what I say. I say flex everything you got. The crypto elite does not shy away from a lush life in the real world. In December, the Wall Street Journal reported that Uncle Brian purchased a lavish Bel Air mansion for $133 million.
Jeez.
State was originally built for liquor heiress Ellen Bronfen Hopsman on 2009. CZ is the 47th richest person in the world. Probably much more than that. So, when you first started crypto, did you have amount goals like 1 BTC or 10 ETH or 10K, ADA, something like that? 1 Bitcoin. I was going to be so now look, when I was in crypto in the earlier years, I had so many Bitcoin, but I sold them all because I was dumb. And then once the price went way up, I was like, oh yeah, I should have kept those. Yeah. So when I really in 2017, when I went kind of all in on crypto, it was just my goal to get 1 Bitcoin, just one. And I finally got there, and it was very nice to get there. It took a while, longer than I would have thought. But when the price dropped of Bitcoin down to $3,000, it was certainly a little bit easier. But you definitely, I'll name this channel later. He drops it in there. Yeah, he knows the line I'm talking about. But, you got to have those goals. And that's why I tell everybody, like, your goal should be to get 1 Bitcoin. If you're not in a financial spot right now where you can think about getting 1 Bitcoin, then you need to be in a spot where you say, okay, well, let me get at least 1 Ethereum. Or like you said, let me get 10,000 Cardano or 10,000 XRP, whatever it might be. And then after you hit that goal, now you start figuring out how to roll up into the next thing. So I think if you're investing $100,000 into crypto, you should own a Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. If you have less than that, if you have $50,000, for instance, I would say get half a Bitcoin and then disperse that over some other things. Ethereum is going to outgain Bitcoin. I do believe that 100%. So you do want a lot of Ethereum in your portfolio. But I think there is a risk reward that's out of balance when it comes to if you can own 1 Bitcoin, not owning one. Mm-hmm. Like if you can own a Bitcoin, own 1 Bitcoin at least. So there you go.
Yeah, and I tell people that a lot too, that mindset shift wise, going from trying to get to a certain dollar amount to same thing. I wanted 1 Bitcoin or 32 Ethereum at the time, a lot more attainable. Then you get there and like you said, you can adjust those numbers up. But looking at it in Bitcoin terms or Ethereum terms, not just dollar terms, can change the way you take actions too. Because a lot of people can trade in, like, for example, you're trading Ethereum and you're trading in and out and you're slowly making more dollars. But if you had just left the Ethereum alone, like say you had 1 ETH when it was $300 and you're trading in and out, and now you've got $2,500, but you've got 0.88 ETH. Yeah. You would have been better to just leave it alone. So looking at it in that context, a lot of times can help as well.
Yeah, it definitely hurts to make trades and lose. Yeah, for sure. And that's the way it was in that bear market in 2018 before we realized it was a bear market. We were still trying to trade up things, and every time it was like, wait,
trading down.
Overall less money every time. Like, oh, no, this is the one that's going to pump. I'm jumping this one. Oh.
Yeah. Now I have less Ethereum and less dollars.
Yeah. Well, you just got to be careful over trading for sure, especially in a bear market. So, okay. Dubai's foray into Sandbox and sale of $1.47 million land reveals. See what it reveals. Even though Sandbox may not be the biggest metaverse by market cap, it might just be the most popular preferred metaverse given entry of a government regulatory body. Following the trend, as most other altcoins did, Sandbox fell to its 6-month low of $1.96 3 days ago, but since recovered slightly. Let's see. It shot up 9.41% on the back of the announcement of Dubai's Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, or VERA, entering the metaverse to establish its metaverse HQ, and the first regulatory authority in the world to do so. I mean, so you go knocking on the door of the regulation authority. Just wanted to say hello. What now?
Just remind me of that. It's opportunity knocking. Those commercials.
Opportunity knocking.
Yeah. Like regulation knocking.
Let's see. Time press release. Vera seeks to ensure the regulator is accessible to its industry and their environment. Announcement came only a few days after Sandbox sold its biggest plot of land for 626,000 sand. Translates to about 1.47 million. Our land is worth 2.5 million there, to put that into perspective. And we just have a 12 by 12 and a 3 by 3. There's some 24 by 24s. So it's just no one's selling those. That's the thing. So we'll see what happens. I do believe that, sand is the number one metaverse in the short term, at least. Maybe long term, there's going to be some bigger ones. But I definitely believe that this is, one to continue to pay attention to, and this is one you're going to want to accumulate, even in the bear market. Any accumulation price for sand, and I think it's good.
And something I've talked about probably a lot, but just want to reiterate, especially with all this hype around the other side metaverse coming from Yuga Labs, building out a metaverse takes forever. Yeah. And the reason Decentraland and Sandbox are so far ahead of, they've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So if you hear anything about a metaverse that's starting in development right now, just know it's not going to be playable for multiple years. And it's taken Sandbox, 5 years plus to get to this point. And that's why they have such a big lead, and it is so playable and it is so good. So just keep that in mind.
Well, we've been building in Sandbox for 2 years.
Right.
And we were only about probably a fifth of the way done.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that.
And think about how long.
And we've had people on this as a full-time job for 2 years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll just say, think about how long their dev team worked on it just to be able to onboard people like us. So these things take a long time.
Things take time. Just like the XRP case. People tweeting about talking about XRP. Ooh, I can't wait to announce what we got going on with that. We'll be fairly soon. Crypto winner unlikely as astonishing user growth dwarfs internet adoption rate. Macro guru Raoul Pal.
I don't know.
And you guys know I disagree with him on this. I love Raoul Pal, but I just don't think that during a bear market there is a giant connection between the fundamentals and the user growth and the price. And we've seen it over and over and over again. He says he expects there to be billions of new crypto users by the end of the decade, despite any jitters investors may currently feel about the markets. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100% over the decade.
Yeah.
In a new discussion about recession and inflation on the Real Vision Finance YouTube channel, the macro guru digs into the historical data comparing crypto adoption rates versus the early years of the internet. Crypto adoption is now massively outperforming the internet. It's been growing at about 165% a year versus 85% for the internet for the same period of time now. This is the fastest adoption of any technology in all human history. We're going to get 5 billion users by 2030. Wow. Full-scale adoption in crypto is as technology for the internet of value and a host of other things. And 1 billion users, can I get rid of this? No, I cannot get rid of this. I hate when I cannot get rid of these. Can I get rid of that? There we go. And 1 billion users comes in 2024, even when the lowering rate of growth. Again, I'm not assuming that growth stays red hot as it has been. In fact, growth has been slowing. I think that is the magnitude of what is happening, and you can own this. Unlike the internet, it's much easier to own because you own a share of the network by owning crypto. So you can see the total crypto users versus total internet users. It's very interesting when you look at, kind of the when the halvings occurred. Halving occurred about right here. Boom. Occurred right here. Boom.
That's what makes it interesting when you're looking at it like that, because it does set that curve up on a more parabolic angle.
And it shows you how critical the Bitcoin 4-year cycle is. And people continue to discount it. It's played out exactly, for all of history, basically, in Bitcoin. And it doesn't just affect the price. It also affects the users, because as the price goes up, then the users will also go up because there's more interest in crypto.
Pretty good case for diminishing returns also.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying the price of Bitcoin is going up right now. This guy said, oh, Bear Boy's getting wrecked. Bitcoin's about to go to $40,000. Well, first of all, I don't trade. So I don't care if it goes to 40,000 in the short term or not. I don't care if it goes to 35,000 in the short term. It means nothing to me. Doesn't affect my portfolio a bit. Okay. But guys, you hear what Forrest just said? He said, oh, there's a chance we actually do pump up a little bit heading into these midterm elections in November, and then we get a gigantic crash.
That's what Frank and I were talking about this morning. There is if you're looking for a bullish case, there is one to pump up. It's maybe like 42, or maybe a little higher. And then everybody's
40,000. Oh, this is such a big milestone for Bitcoin. Wow.
And everybody's back to, we're going up all-time highs. But realistically, it's probably something where we go up to 42, drop back down below where we are, then 39 becomes major. Like, say we drop down to 35. We trade around there for a while, pump up to 39, then drop down to 32, and, still make our way down.
Guys, nothing sexy is happening for a while.
No.
Be prepared. Other than this show. This is the only place we can bring sexy back.
I was going to say, this is where I need some sound effects for some sexy music.
It's my sexy dance. You like it? You like that?
I don't. None of these even work?
You like that? Okay. The Real Vision CEO does caution that the overall crypto market cap is currently not expanding. And while not an actual crypto winner, investors should be prepared to weather a bear market. What? Macro investor concludes his remarks by saying that until network activity picks up, people can expect to see stagnant rates of adoption in the crypto space. Where do you see all the people coming in at? Because I don't see them. Yeah. So it's going to be a while. Okay. All right. XRP news. If you're in the XRP army, make sure to throw the X up. Make sure to smash the like button. Number one thing you can do as a member of the XRP army and a member of the BitSquad to make more people see this video.
We need like a double B. Throw the double B up for the BitSquad.
How do you throw it double?
I saw you got offended there. I don't know. Maybe you can do it with your fingers somehow. Or they could do it in the chat.
Is that it?
That's a...
Zoom out. Here's a double. Nope.
You just point.
Flex these guns.
You just point at the double B behind you.
Oh, just point to it?
Just throw the B
double
up.
B. Thank you. Okay. All right. XRP lawsuit. Ripple calls out SEC delay tactics, opposing request to file additional briefs on Hinman emails. More stuff from the SEC case here. In a recent filing submitted by Matthew C. Solomon on behalf of Ripple and his defendants, Ripple calls out the SEC delay tactics while opposing the latter's request to file additional briefs on privilege assertions. The agency had requested to file an additional brief in support of its assertions. The internal documents related to former SEC official William Hinman are protected from disclosure by attorney-client privilege. This is from, of course, Jeremy Hogan here. This tweet says, finally, feel like Ripple has taken the gloves off and is talking about how ridiculous the SEC's litigation tactics surrounding the Hinman emails are. The judge may still allow the SOAR reply, but at least Ripple is calling out the delay tactics strongly. So they're calling him out. There's now imposters of James K. Fallon. Is this he puts it the amount of followers he has in his title?
What? That's funny.
Let's see if that's what it is.
96K plus.
Yes.
Wow.
Why does he do that?
I don't know.
That's a flex. Man, he's flexing.
Yeah.
Ripple states the SEC requests have leave to file what they term a reply. This would be at least the SEC's sixth filing in opposition for defendants. Further states, at this point, the SEC has had more than ample opportunity to assert and support its various privilege assertions. It's had more than ample opportunity to assert its assertions. Thank you. Discovery closed months ago, and the parties are on the eve of filing motions for summary judgment. Further delay is prejudicial to defendants. Let's see. I mean, they're just trying everything they have at this point. And guys, I got to be honest with you. I feel like, you know, we will continue to cover an XRP story for you guys every day. Is what we do. We respect the XRP army. We are the supreme master and commander of the XRP army, and that's going to be more evident than ever in the next 6 months. That will I will sit on the throne as the king of the XRP army. I'll be moving to the king of the XRP army before you know it. And very exciting stuff coming up, stuff that's going to blow your mind. But until then, try to cover this story. I want you guys to be prepared. We're in a bear market for crypto. We're in a bear market for XRP SEC news right now, because we already kind of know what this looks like from here on out. This is a waiting game between now and December, basically. There will be, I think it's the end of the summer. There's one more important date. But basically, all of the talk is going to be talking about this delay, talking about the delay and the delays of the delay, or the announcements of the announcement. There's not going to be a lot of action coming in the short term. So really, hopefully, we can focus on some stuff that XRP and Ripple are doing around the world to kind of expand their reach of RippleNet. We're going to be talking about XRPL. We're going to be talking about XRP NFTs. There's a big update coming over the summer on the XRPL that will allow for more minting of XRP NFTs, which is actually what we're waiting on for our NFT drop, but we are working on it, extremely hard right now for you guys. It's going to be, well, let me tell you, if you don't think what we have is going to blow your mind, then you are going to be in la la land, because I'm telling you, we have the most cutting edge, innovative thing you've ever seen that's coming. So it will make a gigantic splash in crypto. It will make a gigantic splash in world events, is what I will tell you. And I mean the event business, it's not going to compare to like Ukraine invasion or something, but I just mean it will shock you guys what we have working. So nobody would have thought that we're going to pull off what we've been able to pull off. So. All right, guys, that is all we got for today. Let me actually, let's check out the quick hits real quick. We have public testnet for Cardano-powered decentralized algorithmic stablecoin JED goes live. Layer 2 fee still too expensive, according to Vitalik. Record high surge in Ethereum name service triggers 9% rally in ENS. Polkadot now lets you natively send tokens across parachains. Gatorade trademark applications hint at joining the metaverse. Everybody wants to drink Gatorade Meta. Gatorade Zero's next iteration. Coinbase took out the first Bitcoin-backed loan from Goldman Sachs. Pretty interesting. All right, we have some questions.
Yeah, just a couple. Guys, if you have any other questions, drop them in the chat. Real quick, Jack Keen was wondering what you think the Fed will do today. They say 2 p.m. Eastern, I guess, is when the notes are supposed to be released. 0.25, 0.5, or more?
I think 0.75.
You think they're going all the way up?
I do think we're going to 0.75. I think they're going 0.75, and then we're going to see 0.5 jumps from here on out. And I think they're going to catch up to what they meant to do last time. But they wanted to do 0.5 last time, but the Russia-Ukraine thing helped staved it off.
Yeah, that's going to be some pain then if they do that for sure. Tyler Wise wants to know, how do you buy land in Sandbox? You just go to the game, sandbox.game. They have a marketplace in there. That's the best place to buy it. Yeah.
Cool. Something else? Is there a penny crypto that will make $100? Is there a penny crypto that will hit $100 next bull run? No, I don't think so. Maybe, but who knows? I don't think you can look at look, guys, 1,000x in crypto is extremely rare. 100x, much more likely. You certainly will see coins that are at a penny reach $1, but you will not really see coins that are a penny reach $1,000. And if somebody knows what that is, then I would say I salute them, because it would be very hard to pick a penny right now and say it's going to go to $100.
Thoughts on Elron ecosystem and development?
We love Elron. I think it's a good project. We've been very bullish on it. It's still in our portfolio, one that we're in for the long term. So, all right, guys, that is all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will be on Around the Blockchain. I missed the last couple of days. Sorry about that. We'll be on Around the Blockchain later today, and also we'll be doing our 9 o'clock video tonight. So that's all we got for now. Be blessed. Good boy out.